Had a lot of people ask what the NAR settlement is going to mean for buyers and sellers moving forward into this year and beyond. And so I thought I would make a quick video to just explain in basic terms what the settlement is going to mean for you if you're considering buying or selling a home this year and beyond. My name's Jess and I am a realtor here in Southwest Florida. So if you are considering a move or relocation within the Southwest Florida area or considering relocating down here permanently, I would love to be the first person that you contact. Click subscribe, like, and let's get connected. People considering buying this year into next year and beyond. So as of July, it will actually be non-existent for the listing agent to include commission for the buying agent in the MLS. And so what does that mean for you as a buyer? So what it means is that you are going to have to make a few decisions when you're thinking about buying the home. So basically you will decide on what kind of representation you want to have as you're looking for a new home. And I would definitely encourage you to consider a professional buyer's agent. A professional buyer's agent will have this for you. They will have their menu of services. They will show you what they're gonna provide and the amount of commission or what it will cost for those services. So this is really changing our industry to be more just diligent in paperwork and diligent in providing our value to buyers. So typically there has always been a buyer's agent agreement. It just sometimes doesn't get signed. So first of all, when you find a buyer's agent, you'll want to ask them, what are you gonna provide and how much are you gonna charge for that? Because what's happening now is because the commission structure has decoupled, we're not allowed to have commission within the MLS for the buyer's agent. We have to get a little bit more creative in how we are going to pay for buyer services. So let's go through a scenario. You're ready to buy a home and you don't know anything about a certain area, or you know that you want to have representation for the negotiation. You know that you need an agent to be able to really help you, navigate this process. I can list out 10,000 reasons to have a buyer's agent. A professional agent will sit down with you and they will show you what they can provide and their commission structure. So when you find a home, here is how this is going to play out. You are going to either need to negotiate that commission into the deal via a concession so that you can pay for it at closing, or the seller is going to already have a buyer's agent negotiated into their contract with the seller, just like it would be today. It just would not be allowed to be able to be advertised on the MLS. So just so you know, that is a scenario that would happen. So you're either going to pay via a concession, include it in the deal. It's just not going to be a part of the purchase price like it has been before, or you are going to have it as a part of the deal because it's already been negotiated on your behalf. Basically, they are saying, I will give this concession already. So great, perfect. So those are kind of the two scenarios. So this is why people are saying a lot of buyers agents are going to exit the market. They're not going to be able to show their value. They weren't in the job of showcasing what you get for a buyer's agent. The buyer's agents that are professional, that know their worth, have been doing this a long time, that are really, really good, are not going to leave the market. They are just going to require now a buyer agent agreement. So as a buyer, something else you need to keep in mind is that buyer agent agreements could be on a single property. So you could say, I would like to just sign a buyer agent agreement to view this property. Or you could say, I'd like to do a buyer agent agreement for a certain period of time. So keep in mind as a buyer, there are benefits to both, right? So if you don't know if you want to be completely in lockstep with this agent yet, you could do a just one and done deal. But what I would say is if I was a buyer, I would do my research. I would find someone that was extremely well versed in the area that you're looking for, and then basically I would set forth a buyer agent agreement for a certain period of time, because what that does, it gives that agent incentive to really dig in and work hard for you. Because let me tell you, it is hard. It's hard work being a buyer's agent a lot of times. So that's what I would suggest as a buyer, considering that. Let's say you go unrepresented. Let's say that you're like, you know what, I don't need a buyer's agent. I feel like I can do this myself. There is a chance if you go unrepresented, at least in the state of Florida, the listing agent can represent you and do the paperwork basically. Pros and cons of that. So pros of that are possibly you could save some money in the transaction, but that's still unclear because typically that listing agent will negotiate a larger commission doing it that way. But that listing agent, first and foremost, has the relationship with the seller. So I do feel like you're doing yourself a little disservice not having your own representation. So let's keep the buyer agent alive. I will list below 10,000 reasons why you need a buyer's agent and what they should be doing for you. And let's move on to if you are going to sell this year and how this might impact you as a seller. If you're thinking about selling this year and you're reading about this NAR settlement, you're like, what the heck does that mean to me? Do I just say, awesome, I don't have to pay a buyer's agent commission, this is great? Or is there more to it? Let me just say there's more to it. So let's run some scenarios through. This is a new piece of legislation that will most likely start being implemented in July. In July, the MLS will no longer allow the listing agent to put buyer agent commission as an incentive in the MLS. So we are going to be going through a transition as an industry. If you are thinking about listing or selling your home right now, I would 100% consider the fact that you should still bake in buyer agent commission into the sale of your home. And that is because there's going to be a huge learning curve for the consumer to figure all this out. So in your listing contract, when you're talking to your listing agent, you need to think through a few scenarios. So the first scenario is a buyer comes unrepresented. If you are in a transaction broker agreement, your agent could work on your behalf and on their behalf. They could do the paperwork on both sides. I would say it can be done. It's not ideal, right? Like you could get into some sticky situations where having separate representation could be better. So, but you do want to negotiate that because there is a chance a buyer may come unrepresented. And so you want a commission structure where you say, okay, agent, you're going to get this much if you're just representing me. You're going to get this much if a buyer is unrepresented and you're doing the paperwork. Let's talk about now if a buyer comes with an agent that wants to be paid, right? Like the services aren't for free. So a couple ways this could work. If they already have their buyer agent agreement in hand, they are most likely going to put a concession into the deal. So it's not going to be baked into the listing price, most likely. It will be more or less a concession to the deal. So you are going to be paying for that commission whether you negotiate it or not, right? So they will typically put in, how much they are willing to pay. The buyers are willing to pay their agent, and they are going to ask for that in the negotiation. Or you could consider just baking it in to all your marketing, streamlining it, incentivizing buyer agents to get over to your house because you are paying buyer agent commission. I would tell you, as someone with a marketing background, right now, that is a smarter choice to have a buyer agent commission as a part of your marketing plan. We can't put it in the MLS, but we can put it in emails, marketing. We can put it on a billboard. We could put it in a newsletter. We could put it in ads. We can put it in other areas on a listing website. So just to be very clear, although it's going away as far as not being able to be advertised within the MLS, it is not going away as a thing. So I just wanted to kind of run through these scenarios with you because I've had so many people ask me, are you nervous? How is this going to impact your business? How is this going to impact, the industry? And I'll tell you, a lot of agents are going to leave, right? Like they're not going to be able to navigate this, prove their worth, show menu of services, get the contracts together to continue as a buyer's agent. Listing agents are going to be fine. We'll more than likely be just talking about different scenarios for different types of buyers as they come in. So a lot of people that can't show you those menu of services and can't show you the value are going to leave the industry. And so that is what we're talking about. I think somewhere around 40%, they said will leave the industry. So people that are up to date, know what's going on, and can help you navigate this are going to be the ones that are going to thrive. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, I'd love to be a resource for you. The reason I know a lot of this is because I'm a part of Keller Williams, and Keller Williams already went through a settlement. They saw where this was going and basically already settled for an amount with this lawsuit, which gave me some foresight into what was going to happen this year. My broker has been prepared for this. We are ready to thrive. We're ready to go. We have our menu of services. I can completely show you what I would tell you if you're a buyer or a seller. So I feel confident going into this that we will be able to navigate it and get through it. It's just going to take a little bit of communication. So I hope this was helpful, and reach out to me if you have any questions at all.